Good morning.
Good morning.
What's your name?
Amber.
Nice to meet you. My name is Sydney. I'm going to be your therapist for today. So what brings you in today?
I've just been feeling very anxious and like on edge, and I would describe myself as an anxious person in general. Even when I was younger, I've always just felt like kind of nervous about a lot of things all the time and like a little panicky. But recently it's just gotten really bad and kind of uncontrollable for me. Like I'd say I was always able to maintain it, and now I just can't, specifically with public events. And so it's like messing up my friendships. I'm not really friends with my coworkers. I don't even really have a relationship with them because there's work events like for bonding and just for other stuff, and I can't get myself to go to them. So like I feel like they just think I'm unfriendly or I'm not interested, but I am. It's just, it freaks me out so much. Like sometimes I'll drive all the way somewhere and then I just turn around, and it's with my friends or with anything at a public event. I can't do it.
So it sounds like there's a lot of like kind of stress and worry and anxiousness behind those thoughts and actions, right?
Yeah.
Okay. We'll discover that a bit later in our session, but just for the beginning, just the opener, I have to disclose some things to you, or kind of like inform you on some things. So with informed consent, you have the right to an ethical and a moral therapy. So if you would like to know anything from my back end to help you with building a therapeutic process, you have the right to do that. And also, I am a mandated reporter, so if you say anything that is a harm to yourself or harm to others, I have to just tell that to authorities. So
Okay.
Is there anything else that you have a question about or like to?
So if I were to say like, oh, sometimes I'm like, oh, why be alive, or like I sometimes like think about suicide, would you report that to the police?
No, I wouldn't, because there's a lot of levels to suicidality. So like if you have an intent or a plan, like there are many layers to suicide, and if you don't necessarily hit those markers, I don't have to report you at all.
Okay.
Like I just want to make this a safe space for you, and just to enjoy being here and enjoy letting me know about your feelings and how we can make those steps to get better.
Okay, cool.
Okay, so have I asked you about a mood scale? Sorry. Do you have any recollection of that?
No.
Okay. I would say like from 1 to 7, 1 being the lowest and 7 being like the highest. If you can be very present, very happy, what do you feel like you are right now?
Probably at about a 3. Like honestly, like being here, just talking to you, I know it will help from what I've heard, but also just telling you about all my problems is also kind of scary.
Okay.
So probably like a 3.
So to self-disclose, I get a bit nervous sometimes, so would you like to do some coloring with me?
Yes, I would love that.
Okay, for sure. Okay, so you're saying about your coworkers and just overall being in public spaces, that you were nervous and like worried and anxious and overall scared.
Yeah.
Of being in those places, and you felt that your coworkers probably overall thought you were standoffish. How did that come about?
So like I said, I've always kind of been anxious, and so when I was little, my mom would like really push me to say stuff like, at restaurants I used to like be afraid of ordering like my food, so she like would make me order everyone's food that was at the table, and I think like that's kind of where I started like really feeling anxious. But you know, I've always been able to make friends, but now it's like I was supposed to go to a basketball game with my friends, and my friend paid for my ticket, and then I had the intent to go, and I literally sat in the parking lot for 10 minutes and I couldn't get out of my car. So she got upset with me, and I understood why, and like they were all like let down that I didn't go. And then with my coworkers, this is a new job. I've been there for like about a month, and I feel like no one really talks to me, and honestly I haven't made the effort to reach out to them. And I know, like, if I was on their end, I would think that I wasn't friendly because I'm not going and like putting myself in this space. So I don't know.
I understand. But you are making attempts to be there, because you said you were in the parking lot, so you have made initiative to at least try to be present in that space.
I guess that's true. I didn't think about that.
How to describe this? How long do you feel like these events happen, these like anxious events of like worry happen?
Like when I'm really panicky, or just because I feel like I'm kind of anxious all the time, but like being panicked and like feeling like it's like kind of like overtaking me. Like I feel like it takes an hour, like a couple hours to kind of like get over that feeling. Like I wouldn't say it takes days. I would just say once like I'm home, kind of I feel less panicked, but then I feel upset at myself for missing out.
So you feel guilty when you miss those special events?
Yeah, definitely.
I remember you saying earlier that it kind of started with I'm just clarifying, that started with your mother when you were ordering, or is that right, or did something else happen?
That's when I started like I never really, I was young, so I didn't love talking like a lot to like people I didn't know. So I'm sure like I might have been a little anxious then, but like that's my first time like remembering like really being upset and like kind of like freaked out and anxious. And then
May I ask, how is the relationship with your mom?
It's kind of a lot. Like it's hard because I think she's trying to be there for me and like push me, but really she just makes it worse, and that's hard to explain to her because she's a very outgoing person, and I'm not. It freaks me out to even go to public places. So she's tried to push me, and like I feel like she doesn't really validate the fact that I'm not like her because she doesn't understand it. And so I get, because I don't understand how she's so outgoing, so I get like not understanding, but I just feel like being around her the entire time I'm just freaking out, and I'm in that like state of panic. So we still talk a lot, but it's like a very frustrating dynamic because she just doesn't understand.
So it seems like you two have like a very incongruent personality. She seems very outgoing. You seemed a bit more reserved, so I can understand why you kind of like don't want to do things as much. She's like, you should, if you correct me if I'm wrong, but she's like, you should go do this and do this and do that. But you're kind of like, I don't really want to do that right now.
Yeah.
I definitely understand that. Like, sometimes you do need those breaks. Sometimes people just have a smaller social battery. People don't want to do that all the time. So I get it. I definitely get it.
Well, like literally in high school, I would have like my friends would ask me to do stuff, and kind of like you said, like a low social battery. So I would be like, oh, my mom said I couldn't. And there were times where she would text my friends and be like, oh, why isn't Amber with you? And like she would like tell them, oh, I didn't say it. No, I encourage her to go and do stuff. And I'm like, so then my friends get mad at me, and it's really frustrating because she doesn't get it.
Just to switch gears a bit, I guess going into kind of past and present at the same time, who would you say you confide in the most?
Probably my sister.
Okay.
I feel like just because we grew up together, so she kind of understands more of like, I want to be there for everyone and I want to have relationships, but it's hard for me, and I feel like she's just always kind of understood that and never gotten like upset with me if I didn't show up for something.
So you have a very close relationship with your sister.
Yeah, I would say we talk almost like every day.
So kind of self-disclose, I have a really close relationship with my cousin, and she's like my other half. So I definitely get it to have someone that you can really lean on, and like just kind of have be a listening ear and just like picking up the pieces where I left off, and like just overall understanding, having my voice heard, and just being overall listened to.
Yeah.
So I definitely see that parallel.
No, it's so nice. And then also like she knows like everyone in my life for the most part. So when I say stuff, like she knows more of what I'm talking about. Like I feel like she can kind of like relate to like issues with my mom and stuff, and like other people like aren't my mother's kids, so they don't understand as much. So it's so nice having someone like that.
Like you two have been through it together. You both see.
Yes,
you have the same viewpoint.
It's so nice.
Does she know about how you feel about when you're around your coworkers, or just overall?
Yeah.
Oh, you do. Okay.
And she's told me like just talk to them, and outwork as much as I can, and she was like, I wouldn't really, if I had a coworker that wasn't showing up to stuff, I would just think they were busy. I wouldn't think they weren't friendly. She was actually the one who told me maybe I should try therapy. So she's been really helpful.
That's good that your sister has been like pretty much helping you direct to being on a right path, and I want to congratulate you for being here. So
thank you.
And I noticed that you have felt a bit less tense, and your mood has been a bit better. Like you're less anxious. So I'm very proud of you for that.
Thank you. I really like the coloring.
Me too.
It helps me. Like I can kind of focus on that.
Very good. Have you heard of like grounding techniques? Have you heard of those before?
No, I don't think so.
There are many different things you could do. The one I kind of like is the box method, or belly breathing. I think I'll show you belly breathing first. So if you just stop going for a second, we just put our hands on our stomach and we breathe in through our nose for 5 seconds. Maybe not 5 seconds, maybe like 3. Sorry. In through your nose and out through your mouth. And you do that 3 times. In, 2, 1. How do you feel right now?
That feels better.
Good. Do you feel like you're a bit more present? Does your mind more clear?
Yeah.
Good. I feel like that's a bit something that can be carried anywhere. So like even if you need like a little break when you feel like being around your coworkers or just getting ready to go to a social event or something like that, you can just belly breathe. It takes literally like 5-10 seconds real quick, and then you can try to go back out there. And I think it's pretty manageable to do. Do you feel like that's going to help you, or do you think we need another technique?
No, I think that could definitely help.
Okay. What else? Do you have any other relationships you feel like are a bit rocky?
I feel like my main relationship problem is my mom, but like the ones that like I'm down on myself for is definitely just like with friends and coworkers. My dad and I used to be really close, but we've kind of like we don't talk as much, but I don't know if that's something that's really like upsetting me right now, because they don't live in the same state, so like he doesn't really call me, so it's like he's not like a daily presence in my life. But my mom is always reaching out, which I appreciate, but it's also, she doesn't understand, so it's harsh.
Okay. Well, I feel like that I could bring that up into future sessions, but as for now, I think I'll just give you the homework of belly breathing.
Okay.
Is there anything else that you would like to tell me? Any last remarks or
No.
overall review?
With the belly breathing, should I only do that when I'm like really panicky, or would that like help me in the mornings or at night? Like, would that help with anything?
You can do it in the mornings, or you can do it when you have that first instance of that worrying, anxious feeling.
Okay.
Because I feel like when you get a bit too much in your head, it will be very hard to do. So I feel like when you recognize that, and I feel like when we do that more in future sessions, you'll begin to recognize your worrying and anxious feelings. It will be a bit easier to implement.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. Well, thank you for this session. Thank you for being a great sport, and I hope everything goes well with you.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.